Hey everyone, I'm Selvam VMS, the founder and CEO of Wheelocity. Today I'm excited to share our journey from where we began, solving for the urban food supply chain inefficiencies, to how we now focus on solving a much larger issue in rural India, or Bharat as we call it, the access problem. From our beginnings in 2022, when we set out in the urban space, to our pivot in 2023 when we moved to the rural space. I've always been deeply passionate about problem solving, and my journey with Wheelocity is not just a professional interest, but a deeply personal mission to make a significant impact on our consumers' lives. I've always heard of how India wastes 40+% of its produce in the supply chain, and yet we have tens of millions of people that are undernourished or malnourished. These contradictions always stuck with me, and I knew I wanted to bridge that gap someday. The idea for Wheelocity was born in late 2021 during a casual conversation in a coffee shop in Bangalore. What was meant to be a casual chat around supply chain and technology in general turned out to be the seeds for Wheelocity. Stemming from that conversation, and with my experience in supply chain management at H&S, which was the earlier company that I was running at that time, where my current co-founder Sendil was already the COO, we saw an opportunity to streamline the food distribution network using technology to reduce wastage and improve the overall quality of service. Immediately upon pilot rollout, we partnered with the who's who in the F&B space in India: Swiggy, Instamart, Blinkit, Zepto, Ninjakart, and all the leading players in the space to help them deliver fresher produce faster to their customers. Using IoT-powered packing units and AI-driven logistics, we optimized how produce was handled and delivered. Our zero inventory model and real-time demand forecasting helped reduce food wastage to less than 4%. And in the process, we were able to handle over 700 tons of fresh produce daily across 12 cities in India. But as we grew, we started to see a much larger problem, one that was not limited to the cities. And that became the genesis for Wheelocity 2.0, or WOW as we call it now. By September 2022, it became clear that while we were solving for the urban problems, rural India, or Bharat as we call it, was facing a much more severe challenge, the challenge of access. The struggle was not just about getting fresh produce to people. Bharat lacked access to even the most basic essential services and commodities like FMCG, telecom, and banking services. And their access to fresh food was even more severely limited. In many rural areas, Haats, or the weekly markets, are the best available alternative for rural consumers to buy vegetables from. They are held only once a week, which forces families to buy in bulk without adequate storage options. This leads to what we call kitchen wastage or food spoilage. But the issue extended far beyond just food. Rural communities were also underserved in areas like internet and telecom, cutting them off from vital services. We realized that solving the access problem in rural India would require more than just a logistics approach. It would need us to rethink our entire business model. So in mid-2023, we made the bold decision to pivot from the urban market and focus entirely on Bharat. Post a period of discovery, in late 2023, we launched Wheelocity on Wheels, or WOW as we call it. It is a completely reimagined model designed to bring access to Bharat. The cornerstone of our model is the zero inventory, zero sorting model, combined with the pit stop infrastructure. This means everything we source is sold on the same day of harvest, minimizing wastage while also ensuring that fresh produce and other essential goods reach our rural communities quickly and efficiently. Here's how it works. Every morning by about 8 a.m., our team picks up fresh produce and other goods from farmers and suppliers. By 5 a.m. the next day, our fleet of electric vehicles ensures that we are there at our customers' doorsteps, which is within 24 hours of harvest. We sell all the goods by 8:30 a.m. and we do so every single day, making sure that people have easy access to fresh produce without worrying about spoilage. We've taken the concept of mobile retail and reinvented and elevated it. When our electric vehicles arrive in a village, we play a very unique jingle to let people know that we are there. What started with just 9 villages has now grown to a network of over 3,300 villages, and we are just getting started. We expect to continue scaling. Our pit stop based supply chain model ensures that we stock exactly what's needed for each village, and this avoids wastage and ensures that all produce is sold by the end of the morning. By managing stock dynamically, we reduce the waste and ensure that rural customers get exactly what they need when they need it. The gig model or the gig workforce model is a crucial part of WOW's success. As pioneers of this model in Bharat, we employ local workers to operate our mobile retail units or the electric vehicles, giving them flexible work opportunities. These local employees are vital and form the backbone of our operation, as they understand the needs of their communities and can tailor our services to fit those needs. Now, how do we do it? At the heart of Wheelocity's success is our ability to use cutting-edge technology to efficiently manage our operation. We operate at the intersection of 4 massively value-creating levers: great technology, a fantastic supply chain, great expertise on F&V as a category, and all this built on top of the gig workforce model that I just called out. I'll call out 3 strong levers that form the bedrock of how we use technology in action to amplify our supply chain. 1. Location intelligence, a combination of dynamic and predictive algorithms that help us predict exact demand in each village, and it does not end there. Our tech layer also guides our gig workforce on which exact routes to follow, which roads to take, on which days to maximize the number of consumers served. This not only drives superior consumer NPS, but also optimizes cost for us. Number 2, IoT and smart hardware form another integral part of our hardware tech stack. Every step of the supply chain is tracked, allowing us to monitor our fleet, our inventory, and our transactions in real time. This ensures that our system can handle a large volume of transactions at once, ensuring our sales are quick, accurate, and absolutely seamless. Number 3, smart forecasting through deep consumer behavior insights, which helps us anticipate what products will be needed and when they will be needed, making our supply chain even more nimble and even more efficient. Pivoting 180 degrees from a successful B2B urban business to focus B2C and entirely on Bharat wasn't easy. It required a massive overhaul of our operations and, more importantly, a massive leap of faith. We had built a thriving model that worked in cities, but shutting it down and focusing on rural areas was a risk that we believed was worth taking. In the early days of WOW, there were times when I questioned whether we could scale fast enough to meet demand. Very simple and practical reason. Infrastructure in rural areas is far less developed than in the cities, and we faced numerous challenges in setting up our distribution network. But the desire to solve for the access problem in rural India kept pushing us forward. Adding to it, none of us represented the persona of the consumer that we were servicing. We were not the 40-year-old rural woman that bought from us. This meant that the next best thing that we could do was actually stay close to them, live their lives, and understand their problems better and build better solutions. This further meant that me and the entire team had to literally pack bags, shift base, and go base ourselves in Trichy, right next to where our consumers live, for the entire year between 2023 and 2024. This also meant that we had to put Wheelocity first, second, and third in our lives, which we all did. This was the only way that we urban folks could build a relevant product that could solve for rural consumers' challenges. As we built and operated and launched in more villages, I realized that our solution was more than just a supply chain fix. It was a tool to change many people's lives. Now, building trust with rural communities takes a lot of time. Many people in these areas had historically been let down by other organizations in the past, and there was a general sense of skepticism and mistrust about our ability as well to deliver on our promise. But by consistently showing up at their doorstep every single day of the week, delivering fresh produce and essential goods, we earned their trust. Today, these relationships form the backbone of our operation. In June 2024, we raised $15 million from investors like Lightspeed, Aniket, and Altiria Capital to further support our growth. As an evidence of my personal trust in the value being created at Wheelocity, my family has participated in this round as well. With this infusion, our goal is to serve 10 million plus rural consumers by March 2025, and I'm happy to let you know that we are well on our way to achieving that. Not only that, we now employ over 1,500 rural workers in southern India, providing them flexible employment opportunities through our gig model. This model allows people to work within their communities, helping us operate our mobile retail units while ensuring that rural consumers get the services they need. Today, more than 500,000 households across Bharat rely on Wheelocity for access to fresh produce. And we've expanded rapidly thanks to our zero inventory model, which allows us to maintain a very lean operation without the typical risk of wastage. Our focus is now on scaling even further, ensuring that we continue to provide and improve access across the country. Today, our fleet of electric vehicles do more than 100,000 kilometers of electric powered travel every single day. This replaces what would otherwise have been internal combustion engine movement. Imagine the positive impact that we are creating on the environment by replacing what would otherwise have been diesel engine movement into electric movement. Putting all these factors together, empowering rural women, creating thousands of rural employment opportunities, electrifying the last mile logistics, and solving for India's food wastage problem. So while we are thrilled by the massive economic value that we are creating, we are equally thrilled by the social impact that we are having along the way. Looking ahead, our goal is clear: to continue solving the access problem in Bharat and expand our services to reach 10 million customers by March 2025. We plan to continue refining our gig model and investing in technology to make our operations even more efficient. Over the past few years, we've learned several important lessons. 1. Solve real problems. Whether it is food, telecom, or banking services, the key is to solve for challenges that have the biggest impact on people's daily lives. 2. Adaptability is the key. Our pivot from urban to rural operations was difficult, but it allowed us to address a far more pressing issue, the access issue. 3. Scale with intent. We've built a scalable model that can grow quickly without sacrificing efficiency or quality. 4. Consumer focus. One of the biggest decisions, which I spoke a little while ago, was a very radical one. Perhaps unheard of in any other company, we moved our offices from Chennai to Trichy to stay close to our customers. This single decision has perhaps accelerated our product journey by more than a year. Building trust with rural communities has been crucial to our success, and it has been a key part of ensuring that we can continue scaling operations and helping underserved populations across rural India. The soul of WOW lies in our unwavering commitment to Bharat. Every morning, as our fleet of electric vehicles sets out, we aren't just delivering goods. We are delivering access, opportunity, and hope. Our mission is bigger than just food. It's about solving for access and empowering communities across rural India. Through WOW, we are creating jobs, improving the lives of millions, and building a more equitable future for all. This is not just a business, it's a movement. To all the aspiring entrepreneurs out there, I say this: find a problem worth solving, build a solution with integrity, and more importantly, stay relentless in your pursuit of excellence. If we can do it, so can you. Thank you so much for listening to our story. And together, we can continue solving for the Bharat problem and building a more sustainable and accessible future for all of India.